So this is the LA Kings' fourth overtime win in a row. It's the first time in franchise history that the Kings have ever done that. And while that's awesome, I will definitely take 4 wins over the 4 losses that we could have had if we lost tonight. The fact that we've gone to overtime the past 4 games is slightly concerning to me, especially because coming up this weekend, we have 8 really tough games, starting with St. Louis on Saturday and then Chicago on Sunday. So back-to-back out of town. I think 5 of those 8 games are out of town. And it's just not the convincing wins that you want to see from a team that's a contender. Again, I know our goaltender is out, but we still need to be able to make it far enough for Quick to be able to kind of bail us out again at the end of the season. And there are just certain things that I'm not seeing. Like, dear God, the dump and chase, it's like driving me crazy. Actually set up a play. I understand if you're on a change and you have to dump it and that's the only way that that's really going to work. But when you have the opportunity to have a controlled zone entry, they just don't do it. And so it takes more time to try and get the puck back. There's a lot more board battles that they just don't need to be having. They should be setting up shots instead of doing that. It's driving me a little crazy. But anyway, first period of the Predators game, basically nothing happened, like at all. There are a couple of penalties, coincidental minors. We ended the period with a Brown penalty that carried over for like a minute and something seconds into the second period. And that's where things got interesting in the second period. Because while the first period was very even, there were 8 shots apiece. It was very back and forth and back and forth. The second period was much more exciting. There were big plays and there were big stops and there were, oh my God, did that just happen kind of moments. And so that was much more entertaining, if nothing else. About 10 minutes in, the first goal, of course, was a Predators goal. Just couldn't clear. I think it was Gilbert made the first really good stop, and then they just couldn't clear the rebound, and it goes in straight past Budaj. That's unfortunate. But the Kings are having a lot of good chances. Dowd, tonight, he only got the 3rd star, but 1st star in my heart, I think. He was incredible. He was all over the ice. He was making a lot of plays happen. He, in fact, made the Kings' 2 regulation goals happen from Dowd and Martinez. Both of them were credited. The first one was a power play goal that was credited to Muzzin, which, damn, I'm not a huge fan of Muzzin. I think we know this. But that was a nice shot. Dowd had it right kind of in front of the net and ended up, he had too many men on him. So he passed it to a completely open Muzzin and just like zing right past the goaltender. It was gorgeous. So that was the first pair of goals. And the Kings at this point are in usual Kings fashion, pulling away in the shots on goal category. And doing their best to just really outplay them, but not really do anything. There are a lot of blocked shots that happened, and I think this has a lot to do with the fact that Quick is not playing, and so the Kings are really like boarding up their defense and like, no, let's just not even let it get through to Budaj. Whether he can take it or not, let's just not even let that be a thing. So the second goal comes in the 3rd period where we had a power play for about a minute and a half going into it, and a minute exactly into the 3rd period, they get a really clean breakaway and they score shorthanded. Yeah, that happened. That sucked. But in not typical LA Kings fashion, they actually came back right away. I think the power play had expired with like 1 second left, so it was not technically a power play goal, but it really was a power play goal. And this was Toffoli from Dowd and Martinez. And I had just been talking to Queen of Meme, who does the cupcake tracker on Twitter, and we were just saying that we needed some more cupcakes in our lives, and Toffoli goes and does this. And so we're tied, and we're doing really well. We're doing some great things. Dowd's getting a lot of shots. Carter is getting a lot of opportunities. Doughty is doing some gorgeous Doughty things as only he can do. But the clock's keep ticking down, and at one point, we're on the penalty kill, and Anze Kopitar has lost his stick, and he's like, whatever, I'm still going to be effective, because they get the puck, like, kind of to him, and he does this diving thing and bats it out without a stick and manages to get off. So Kopi's like, no, we're not letting this game get away from us. Great captain skills right there. That was gorgeous. The whole crowd just went crazy. But it's not really anything getting past Rinne, which is interesting because last night 6 goals got past him in his backup against the Ducks. I guess they were not so happy about last night's game and played it just a little bit better against us tonight. Or the Kings weren't doing their best, because in the last period they had 20 shots on goal and the other team had 8. We outshot them in total 40-25. And I know I just mentioned that we had a lot of blocked shots, but 20 shots on goal to 8. It shouldn't have gone to overtime. It's a pattern I'm not too thrilled with, and I think when we actually go up against teams that are competitive in the league, it's going to come totally bite us in the ass, because there were several great opportunities that the Kings had that, I mean, at one point, Rinne was, like, down and did this, like, diving save thing, and they still couldn't, there was a whole freaking net to shoot into, and they still couldn't capitalize on any of their opportunities. And again, giving up a shorthanded goal, not a great sign. So we go into overtime, and it's 3-on-3, and Kopitar draws a penalty, so it's actually 4-on-3 for a good 2 minutes, and then a 4-on-4 until the whistle blew for pretty much most of the overtime. There are at least 4 players on the ice. And that, I mean, 2 whole minutes of 4-on-3 where I don't think the Predators cleared it at all. The Kings took shots, and they rebounded, and they took more shots, and then they set up some plays, and then it never got out of the zone, but the Kings could not, they took the safe shots. They couldn't take the good, spectacular, oh, maybe this backfires, but at least we tried and did something awesome shots. So the clock's ticking down, and we're all kind of thinking, well, I mean, we're not going to take anything good enough to get past Rinne, and Rinne's not going to let anything soft in because he hasn't so far. And then Jeff Carter, the puck was shot from Toffoli, from Doughty, and it kind of like deflected off the back of Rinne's skate, and Carter chipped it in after that. But again, I'll take it. An overtime win with 47, I think, seconds to go. And the Kings have managed to pull off yet again. They were, I believe, 14-2 going into this overtime since 3-on-3 has started. And the Predators are 2-12. And last season, the only way the Kings beat the Predators was in overtime. So things I'd like to see next game. A regulation win. I'm not sure I'm going to get that, but I'll take the 8 points we've given and just hope, or 8 points that we have, and just hope that the 4 points that we've given other teams during those 8 points we got doesn't come back and hurt us later. So until that all plays out, please enjoy some more Chris Sutter Dance Cam.
Los Angeles penalty, a bench minor for too many men on the ice. Time of the penalty, 10:50. Again for Los Angeles, bench minor.